All right, so welcome to this deep dive, everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some really interesting stuff today.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing going on in the chess world right now. Expert speaker. With Ding and the accusations of throwing the match, expert speaker. Yeah, some people are saying it's a huge scandal. I know, right?
I mean, we have a new world champion.
Yeah.
Gukesh D at 18 years old.
Yeah.
Youngest ever.
Unbelievable.
And instead of everyone celebrating that accomplishment, we have these accusations flying around.
Yeah, from a pretty, how do I say this? Interesting source.
Yeah, the president of the Russian Chess Federation.
Right, exactly.
Andrei Filatov.
Comes out and says that Ding basically threw the match.
Not just basically, he said it was extremely suspicious.
Yeah, I saw that quote too. Like he didn't mince words.
Nope. He went straight to the media, called for an investigation by FDE.
Oh, man, so FIDE is going to have to get involved now.
Seems like it. Which, they have bigger fish to fry, if you ask me.
Right, like isn't the Russian Chess Federation suspended right now?
Yeah, by FIDE themselves for their support of the war in Ukraine.
So it's like they're trying to stir the pot.
It really seems that way. Create some chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're the ones in the doghouse, so to speak.
Okay, so let's back up a little for people who aren't following this whole thing blow by blow.
Sure.
What exactly did Ding do that was so suspicious, according to Filatov?
Well, he made a blunder in the final game.
A blunder?
Yeah, a mistake. Basically gave the game away to Gukesh.
Okay, but don't all chess players make mistakes at some point? I mean, it's a really complex game.
Of course, but this wasn't just any mistake.
What do you mean?
This was a blunder that even a low-level player would probably avoid. It was that obvious.
So you're saying Ding, a world champion, made a move that an amateur wouldn't?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's incredibly unlikely. So we've got a pretty sus accusation from a not-so-credible source.
Pretty much sums it up.
And now the whole chess world is talking about it.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten people's attention. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into some of the reactions for the rest of the chess community. Some pretty strong words being thrown around.
It's getting spicy out there.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into this chess mess. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, it's really blown up. I mean, people love a good controversy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially in the chess world. Things can get pretty intense.
Right, especially when you have someone as outspoken as Kramnik weighing in.
Oh, yeah. He didn't pull any punches.
Remind me what he said again?
So Kramnik didn't actually accuse Ding of throwing the match.
Right.
But he was super critical of the quality of play.
Like in the whole championship.
Yeah, especially that final game.
With the big blunder.
Exactly. He called it childish.
Ouch.
Yeah, and then he posted this thing on social media that really got people talking.
What was it?
End of chess as we know it.
Whoa. Okay, that's dramatic.
Very dramatic. Do you think he actually believes that chess is doomed?
I don't know. I mean, Kramnik's a legend.
Yeah.
But he's also known for being a little,
A bit of a traditionalist.
Exactly. Like maybe he's just resistant to change.
It's possible. I mean, think about it. He comes from a generation of players where deep calculation and theoretical knowledge were everything.
Right.
And then you have these younger players coming up.
Like Gukesh.
Yeah. They've grown up with computers and online platforms.
So their style's different.
Totally. It's more pragmatic. More about avoiding blunders at all costs.
So maybe Kramnik sees this blunder as a sign of that.
Yeah, like a symptom of a decline in chess quality.
But isn't chess more popular than ever?
That's true. But popularity doesn't necessarily equal quality.
Okay, so you're saying Kramnik's worried about the direction the game's headed in.
I think so. He might feel like some of the beauty of chess is being lost.
That artistry you were talking about.
Exactly. The creative spark, the unexpected brilliance.
And he's not seeing that in the modern game.
Maybe not as much. I mean, the game's evolved.
Yeah.
Players are less likely to risk.
So they make fewer mistakes.
Exactly. But maybe they're also missing out on those brilliant moments.
Ones that make chess so captivating.
Exactly.
Okay, but even if Kramnik's right about all that, isn't it a bit much to say end of chess as we know it?
Probably. I mean, it's one blunder in one game.
Yeah.
But it happened on the biggest stage.
The World Championship.
Exactly. So it takes on a whole different meaning.
And then you have Filatov jumping in with these accusations.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it into something bigger than it is.
Exactly. So now everyone's talking about match fixing instead of Gukesh's amazing accomplishment.
It's a classic distraction tactic.
Yeah, and I think it's working. They're getting exactly what they want.
All this attention, all this controversy.
And it's taking away from Gukesh's moment.
Exactly.
So what can we do about it? I mean, how do we stop this from happening again?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Okay, so we've talked about the accusations, the reactions, the blunder heard around the world.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
But I kind of want to step back now and look at the bigger picture. You know, what does this whole thing say about chess?
Yeah, that's the important question in the long run, right?
Yeah.
Not just the drama, but the impact.
Exactly. Like, is this a sign that chess is in trouble?
Well, I don't think so. Not really.
But you said earlier that Kramnik might be worried about the direction the game's going in.
Yeah, but I think that's more about style than substance, you know?
Like, he just doesn't like how the modern game is played,
Kinda. Yeah. He misses that old-school romantic style.
with lots of sacrifices and attacks.
Exactly. That all-or-nothing approach.
Okay, but chess has always evolved.
Right. Totally. I mean, the game we play today is vastly different from what they played 100 years ago.
So maybe this is just another evolution. Another step in the game's development.
I think that's a good way to look at it. You know, the rise of computers has definitely had a huge impact.
Yeah, players can analyze positions so much deeper now.
Exactly. So the game's become more precise, more about avoiding mistakes.
And maybe that's what Kramnik's reacting to?
Yeah, he sees that blunder and he thinks, oh no, chess is becoming too sterile, too technical.
But isn't that just progress?
Mhm.
Players are getting better, stronger?
True, but maybe we're losing some of the artistry along the way.
That's an interesting thought. Like, is it possible for chess to be both super strong and beautiful?
That's the challenge, isn't it? To find that balance, to push the boundaries of the game without sacrificing its aesthetic appeal.
Yeah, and I think that's what the top players are doing today.
I agree. They're incredibly strong.
They're also creative.
Right. They're finding new ways to express themselves within the game.
So maybe chess isn't doomed after all.
I definitely don't think so. This whole controversy might actually be a good thing in the long run.
How so?
Well, it's forcing us to have these conversations about the nature of chess, about what we value in the game.
Yeah, you're right. Like, we're talking about style and evolution and the role of technology.
Exactly. And those are important discussions to have.
So maybe Filatov did us a favor without even realizing it.
He gave us something to think about, something to debate.
And ultimately, that's what keeps chess alive,
Yeah.
right? That constant questioning, that pushing the boundaries.
Absolutely. Chess is a game of ideas.
Yeah.
And the more ideas we have, the stronger the game becomes.
All right, well, that's a pretty optimistic way to end our deep dive.
Well, I'm an optimist at heart when it comes to chess anyway.
And I think you've given us all a lot to think about.
I hope so.
So thanks for joining me on this deep dive. And remember, chess is more than just a game.
It's an art, a science, a battle of minds.
And it's here to stay.